Not since Cardigan Bay had one horse so dominated New Zealand harness racing as Chokin did from his first season on the track. Whatever Chokin did was news, from his unbelievable wins to his sensational defeats. Astute judges rated Chokin as possibly the best juvenile pacer bred in New Zealand after he swept all opposition aside in the rich two-year-old classics during the latter part of the 1990-91 season. Chokin's whirlwind rise to the top of the New Zealand two-year-old pacing tree was achieved in around 3 months and took just 8 starts. When sent for a spell at the end of June 1991, Chokin had won 7 of those 8 starts. According to people familiar with the gelding, he was a certainty beaten in the other. A strapping 16-hand gelding by Premier sire Vance Hanover from the exceptional producer Nell's Pride, Chokin was bred by Auckland businessman Alan Meadows in partnership with Pukekohe trainer Brian Hughes, a nephew of legendary New Zealand trainer Roy Purdon and a cousin of Barry Purdon. Initially raced by Sue Meadows and Pam Hughes, the respective wives of the breeders, after 5 starts for Hughes, Chokin was bought by the Pacers Australia syndicate for close to $200,000 and entered the Clevedon stables of Roy and Barry Purdon. A matter of days after entering the Purdon stable, Chokin won his first start for his new owners in the $175,000 ANZ Bank Sires Stake Final at Alexandra Park, Auckland. Maurice McKendry had been Chokin's regular driver, but when he entered the Purdon stable, Tony HERLIHY, Barry Purdon's brother-in-law, took over the reins.
Down the back straight they stream, they're 600 metres out, and the half 59.6. It's Soki's Bow the leader. Soki's Bow joined on the outside by Lots and Lots. On the inside to Straight Line. In the 1-1 is Giovanetto. Down on the inside is Rare Offer. The favourite Chokin is still about 5 or 6 off them. Around the outside goes in the way, dropping back to the rear of the field is Butler's First. 1:28 for the 3/4. They've really turned the pace on. Into the lane comes Soki's Bow. Around the outside, Lots and Lots might have lined them up, but here's Chokin with a big run down the outside that took it to the lead. With 150 to go, the favourite Chokin's gone away by 2 or 3. Only battling Giovanetto down on the inside, Lots and Lots coming in well. Down the outside here we've got Magic Fella, but it's all Chokin as they go to the line. Magic Fella runs second. They're followed in by Giovanetto. Then we had
winning the DB Draft Stakes at Alexandra Park a month later, unextended by 2.5 lengths rating 158.2, Chokin closed out the season with an effortless victory in the $100,000 New Zealand two-year-old championship at Alexandra Park on the 22nd of June.
Round the showgrounds bend they come, and the champ is in command. At the 400 metres mark is Chokin the leader. Here's Giovanetto with a big run round the outside. Butler's First is still there on the paint as they get to the 200 metres mark. In behind them then to set the table. They line up and Chokin lines them up. Round the outside Giovanetto. Down on the inside Butler's First. In behind them Rainbow Fella on the inside to set the table. At the 150 though Chokin's away by 4. On the inside 2 Butler's First. On the outside Giovanetto. But Chokin, he wins by about 4 lengths, I'd say, from Butler's First, Giovanetto.
Not surprisingly, Chokin was a unanimous selection as New Zealand two-year-old of the year for 1990-91. But he made further history that season when he was also voted New Zealand Horse of the Year, the first two-year-old to achieve that high honour. Chokin was also voted New Zealand three-year-old of the year for the season 91-92, a season which saw him unbeaten in 5 New Zealand starts, before embarking on a disastrous mission to Australia for the Miracle Mile at Sydney's Harold Park. Fame, fortune, controversy and disaster were Chokin's lot in the first half of that season. Resuming with an effortless win in the heat of the ANZ Bank Sires Stake at Addington in October, Chokin then added the Canterbury Draft Rising Stars prelude to his tally. After scoring a 3-length victory in the Rising Stars final when he was timed to run his final 800 in 55.4 and the final quarter in 26.9, untouched, Chokin breezed away with the $175,000 ANZ Bank Sires Stake final at Addington.
They're inside the 600 metres. Off the back comes Chokin by a length now from Giovanetto, Kiwi Scooter, Sherlock still got this beautiful trail on the fence behind those runners. Multiply looking to get get through. Clever Legend is next, giving it away. Impressive fella, it's weakening out quickly. Smart Son trying to get around wider with Chappie's Son. In behind those Takura, Harpo, Lord, and dropping away now the other three. But they're in the straight, just over 200 to go. Chokin in front, Tony Hurley gives him a stripe with a whip. Here comes Giovanetto at him down the outside. Chokin's under pressure. Giovanetto's trying to level, but Chokin's doing it. Chokin's holding Giovanetto down to the post. He's got a bit more there, this champion 3-year-old. He's won it well. Length and a half. Giovanetto, Clever Legends run through in a third, followed then by Sherlock.
Winning again at Addington 3 days later, Chokin made history by becoming the first 3-year-old to be invited to contest the Miracle Mile at Harold Park. The Roy and Barry Purdon trained Christopher Vance, who had won the New Zealand Cup and New Zealand Free-for-all at the Addington Carnival, was also invited to run in the 1991 Miracle Mile. When Tony Herlihy elected to partner Christopher Vance, leading Victorian horseman Brian Gath was engaged to drive Chokin. While Roy and Barry Purdon were honoured to have two Miracle Mile runners, they were both openly opposed to Chokin starting. Barry Purdon went as far as to say it was like throwing a teenager into the boxing ring against Mike Tyson.
And Tip Top Prince down the back leads. He came away from the fence when they eased up. First quarter, 27-6. Tip Top Prince in front. 3/4 on Westburn Grand. Franco Tiger's next. There's Chokin circling the field now. Defoe in the centre, and Christopher Vance was back at the tail. Tip Top Prince in front. Chokin goes up. He's fired up. Westburn Grant's in the centre. Then on the outside, Defoe getting a lovely card up. Over on the inside, Franco Tiger, and last of the six is Christopher Vance. They thunder into the straight in the 1991 Miracle Mile, and Tip Top Prince in front from Westburn Grand. Out 3 deep on the outside of those, Chokin the 3-year-old. Defoe given every chance. Franco Tiger's back on the inside, and Christopher Vance was last of all. Westburn Grand, he starts to stoke him up now, where it's still Tip Top Prince in front as they go to the 600, second quarter in 30.7. It's Tip Top Prince in front, 3 metres on Westburn Grand. On the outside, Chokin from Franco Tiger. Defoe, it's been held up, and then came Christopher Vance as they go to the 400 now, and still Tip Top Prince in front. Now the mighty pacer Westburn Grant goes to him. Here's Christopher Vance around the outside, chiming in. The New Zealander, he's gone to the lead, Christopher Vance. Westburn Grant tried to sprint with him. They draw away from Tip Top Prince and Defoe. They come to the corner now, and Christopher Vance in front, a half length on Westburn Grant, and Defoe chiming in. Christopher Vance in front, Defoe the outside. Westburn Grant beaten, but Christopher Vance for Tony Herlihy is coming away to win the Miracle Mile. Christopher Vance, it's a Quinella to New Zealand. Defoe second, Westburn Grant a valiant third.
That 1991 Miracle Mile was certainly a bittersweet experience for the Purdon stable. Herlihy reigned Christopher Vance to a comprehensive last-to-first victory in 157.2, while Chokin crashed exhausted to the track on the home turn after getting into a panic and giving Gath a nightmare drive.
No, he should definitely not have run in that, in our opinion anyway. Yeah, he was a boy trying to do a man's work, and although he'd won all the top 3-year-old races here up to that stage before he went, he was only beating his own age group. He had the ability to compete, but he just didn't have the ring craft.
Apart from abrasions to his knees and nose, veterinary surgeons cleared Chokin of any serious damage, but declared he had been extremely distressed. Barry Purdon was also distressed when notified that Chokin would remain in Australia to be trained by Bob Knight, who owned a 1/6 interest until after the Victoria Derby, provided he recovered from his Miracle Mile mishap. By mid-December, Knight and stable foreman Stephen Dove reported that Chokin was back in full work and going well. With Dove sidelined through suspension, Brian Gath renewed his association with Chokin in the $25,000 South Australian Derby at Globe Derby Park in early January 1992. Just over a month after his disastrous Miracle Mile effort, he returned to top form, rating 2:1.7.
They head to the back straight. 600 out, Marco Polo the inside, Chokin the outside. Still Marco Polo travels well, but he's getting up on the outside now. Chokin to put the pressure on. 6 metres Earl of Sheffield. Then Texan fella Barossa Baron can't get out from Money Magnate Pro Cheval. Bonamax running on. They come off the back straight. Marco Polo and Chokin go together. The New Zealand star Chokin Chokin on the outside puts the neck clear. Marco Polo, though, is fighting back tenaciously. They're 20 metres in front of Barossa Baron into the clear. Bonamax runs on from Pro Cheval on the turn. Chokin a metre in front. On the inside, Marco Polo trying hard. Barossa Baron is flashing home from Earl of Sheffield. Chokin in front. Barossa Baron trying hard, but Chokin too good, too tough. Chokin a big winner. Wins on the line 5 metres. Barossa Baron a game second and a little bit unlucky too. Marco Polo a great run third. Earl of Sheffield fourth.
In May 1992, Chokin underwent an operation for a tendon injury in his near foreleg. A month later, after the injury failed to respond to treatment, it was announced the gelding would return to the Purdon stable. Making a slow recovery from the injured tendon, Chokin did not get back to the races until January 1993, but he did enough that season to be voted New Zealand 4-year-old of the year. Chokin added another feature win to his already impressive record when he won the Group 1 New Zealand Messenger Championship at ALEXANDRA Park in early March 1993.
But it's a packed field as they head out towards the showgrounds bend now with 450 just to go. And the leader on the inside is Tigerish. Tigerish, she's applied the pressure, the outside fuel to burn there, followed then by Scottish Hostess, then Kurahapo Lord. Now there's Tony letting the brakes go on. Chokin, he zooms up on the outside to be equal second as they make the turn, but meantime Tigerish, the 3/4 134.7. She slipped away 2.5 lengths on Chokin. Scottish Hostess and Kurahapo Lord. Here comes Butler's first. San Sabriel looking for a way through. Chokin hit the front inside the 100 from Butler's first. San Sabriel late run Master Blaster. Chokin's too strong. Chokin scored second at the line. Photos between on the inside San Sabriel or on the outside Butler's first or San Sabriel.
The following month, he waged a torrid duel, which had the fans up on their feet and roaring with Christchurch idol Blossom Lady in the Easter Cup at Addington.
Down to the 600 metres goes Blossom Lady, and she's really applying the pressure, turning up the heat on them at this stage as they race off the back, a length clear of Christopher Vance. Butler's first in the trail. Chokin's had a good run in behind them the outside. On the fence, 2 under, then Giovanetto. So goes 2 lengths away, followed by Magpie Lady, Bonnie, Remote Stream, 4 wide at the bend. And Valad followed further back then. At the head of the rest by Air Supply and Greenwich, but they swing for home and Blossom Lady, and the crowd are already on their feet. Here comes Chokin down the outside. Blossom Lady has a length and a half, but he's eating into a lead now. It's Blossom Lady. Anthony Buckley's going for the step, but Chokin's drawing up outside. He's a class fellow, this one, and Chokin's got the measure of Blossom Lady and wins 3/4 a length. Second home, Blossom Lady. Sogo finishing attractively for third.
The next major assignment was the 1993 Inter-Dominion Carnival at Brisbane's Albion Park. Chokin qualified for the big race after being placed in 2 of his 3 qualifying heats, but was scratched on the morning of the grand final with a throat infection which sidelined him for the rest of the season. As a 5-year-old, Chokin really came of age. Once again, he was voted New Zealand Horse of the Year, joining Master Mood and Luxury Liner as the only dual winners of this prestigious title. Chokin won 5 Group 1 races that season and became harness racing's first sub-4-minute 2-mile horse. He also joined the Millionaires Club, ending the 1993-94 season with a bankroll of $1,270,000.
He's had a checkered career, a couple of injuries and a couple of layoffs, but still he always came back.
Well, I suppose it shows like big heart that he had and the big horse he was, and he just had that will to win all the time.
Resuming with an Auckland free-for-all win in September, Chokin's main target that spring was the $300,000 New Zealand Cup at Addington in November. His hopes of another Group 1 success nosedived, however, when he finished a lacklustre 10th in the Kaikoura Cup just 8 days before the big 2-mile event. Concerned with Chokin's failure to fire at Kaikoura, Barry Purdon called in a veterinary surgeon who treated the gelding for a high white blood cell count. That minor problem out of the way, Chokin went on his winning way, extending his unbeaten Addington sequence to 8, when he led for the last 2,400 metres of the New Zealand Cup and then repulsed a strong challenge from Master Musician to win by a length.
down the back straight in the Cup, and Chokin has led them almost from the start. He's a length in front from Christopher Vance with So Go the Rail. Master Musician's gone up 3 wide, and Robert Dunn seems to have a good hold of him. It's followed by Tigerish in the centre, Giovanetto back in the rail. Blossom Lady is 3 wide. After those, they were followed by Smooth Gretna, Abdias blocked in the inside, Remote Stream the outer, and the last 2 are 2 under and in such as they come round the bend. The 1993 DB Draft New Zealand Cup, it's led by Chokin. He turns for home in front. Christopher Vance is struggling a bit. So Go's going to get the gap on the outside in a minute, and Master Musician and Giovanetto's looking for the run in the inner, and Blossom Lady's wider in the track. It's Chokin in front. Master Musician and Blossom Lady's trying to cut them down to the outside. It's Chokin, Master Musician and Blossom Lady and Giovanetto, but Chokin's won the Cup. Second home, Master Musician, Giovanetto in a photo.
3 days later, Chokin added the $80,000 Air New Zealand free-for-all to his impressive tally of Group 1 victories. Chokin became the 9th horse to complete the big double in the previous 16 years when he won by a neck, rating 157.3 for the mobile 2,000 metres.
And Tigerish leads them round past the 500 metres. Master Musician next, and down on the rails to So Go. There's Master Musician, accelerates quickly. He dashes to the front, and Chokin's gone with him. And Blossom Lady's trapped out about 4 wide. Christopher Vance is bursting into it as well. So Go back on the inside, and Giovanetto sprung off the rail in the straight. Master Musician going for home. Chokin and Tony HERLIHY calling to him. He goes up to Master Musician, comes off the rail a bit. It's Chokin the outside and Master Musician the inner. Chokin's got the measure of Master Musician. It's Chokin down to the line. Chokin's going to win the football from Master Musician. Christopher Vance got home for 3rd. Ahead of...
Invited to contest the Miracle Mile later in the month, Chokin had a point to prove when he returned to the Glebe Hollow. 2 years earlier, as a raw and inexperienced 3-year-old, he was completely overawed by the whole occasion. He crashed to the Harold Park track totally exhausted, but this time he was much tougher and meaner. Attempting to join Master Mood and Christopher Vance as the only horses to complete the most sought-after treble in Australasian harness racing, the New Zealand Cup, New Zealand Free-for-All and Miracle Mile, Chokin's task was made easier when the odds-on favourite Jack Morris was sensationally scratched minutes before the race, when blood was found trickling from his nostrils. With Jack Morris back in his stall, Chokin was untroubled to lead throughout and win by 4 metres in exactly 2 minutes. It was the slowest Miracle Mile since Locarno clocked 2 minutes .4 in 1980.
In the straight now to get the bell, and the leader is Chokin. Here comes last year's winner, Franco Tiger. He moves up on the outside, Sable-Eyes behind the leader. We own a Warrior in the 1 and a length away. Last is Master Musician. Second quarter was a very slow 33.9. Chokin's doing it well, and in the run to the back leads by 3/4 of a length Franco Tiger. Sable-Eyes in behind the leader. 4th is We Own a Warrior, and a length away to Master Musician. Down the back now, and Chokin is just in front of Franco Tiger, is putting the pressure to him now, and here comes Master Musician. He's starting to sprint up quickly. We Own a Warrior came out in front of him and put him 4 wide. Sable-Eyes on the fence wanting a run. Chokin, he's getting busy in front now. Leads 3/4 to Franco Tiger. 3 wide as We Own a Warrior. Sable-Eyes still held up for a run, and a length to Master Musician, who's back last again, but Chokin is the leader on the turn. Chokin heads up a length in front of Sable-Eyes. The mare's about to get out and come after the New Zealander. Chokin in front of Sable-Eyes. Further out then is Franco Tiger, but it's Chokin in front of the Miracle Mile. Sable-Eyes trying hard, but it's a New Zealand victory. Chokin wins the Miracle Mile by a length. Sable-Eyes second. Master Musician's got up for 3rd in front of We Own a Warrior.
The next prime target for Chokin was the $250,000 Auckland Trotting Cup over 2 miles at Alexandra Park at the end of December. Handicapped on 10 metres, Chokin appreciated the fast pace and came with a strong run to win by a length and a quarter in a world record 3:59.5, which sliced 0.9 of a second off the previous national record set by Luxury Liner in the 1988 New Zealand Cup.
Franco Weiss taking them across to the 400 now. By 2 lengths, Abdias are coming into it rapidly, followed by 2 under. Chokin's right there too, and there followed So Go, Giovanetto and Smooth Genghis, Christopher Vance, Montana Vance. But round the turn they come in the 1993 Liner at Auckland Trotting Cup, and Franco Weiss kicked about 2 lengths on Chokin, who's coming into his lead very quickly. They're followed by Abdias, Franco Weiss. Chokin moved up alongside to eyeball it. Chokin's hit the front from Franco Weiss. Out deeper, Christopher Vance, but Chokin's going to to be too good. Wonderline Red Auckland Trotting Cup for 93 from Franco Weiss. Christopher Vance raced into third. There followed
Chokin attained millionaire status with this latest victory. His career earnings soared to $1.1 million, but there was more to come before he finished that season. After a close third to ADDINGTON and Franco Weiss in a free-for-all on the final night of the Auckland Carnival, Chokin was freshened up before venturing back to Australia to chalk up his 5th Group 1 success for the season. He jogged to an effortless win in the $200,000 Victoria Cup at Moonee Valley on the 5th of February 1994.
At the 1150 they race, lead time in a 55.2, the quarter in a 30.4, in a healthy diatribe Victoria Cup for 1994. It's Chokin in front by a metre, the New Zealanders 1-2. Blossom Lady travelled up into second placing on the outside. She's almost joining Chokin with a round to go. Zakara third on the outside of Level Advice. Tigerish from last now pulls to the outside, trailed up by Christopher Vance. 3 back on the rail, the Unicorn. The outside is Ultrajet. He comes out now 3 wide, forcing Tigerish out 4 wide. Then Hilarion Star needing a run, followed by Wiona Warrior. Christopher Vance pulls to the extreme outside. Golden Rain second last, followed by Wiona Warrior. And Gold Label 6 metres away last, towards the 450. Second quarter in a 30.8. Chokin leading, held together 2 metres away. Blossom Lady under pressure. Ultrajet being hard driven out 3 wide. Then Level Advice Sakara. Hilarion Star needs daylight. Tigerish under pressure out 4 wide. In behind them came the Unicorn, followed by Christopher Vance, Golden Rain. Then Wiona Warrior and Gold Label. Around the home turn in the Victoria Cup towards the 200 metres. Third quarter 28.7. And Chokin exploded. He went bang and raced away at the 180. Blossom Lady into second placing, can't pick him up, followed by Level Advice, then Ultrajet, but for paces Australia, it's Chokin racing away with the Victoria Cup. He bolts in, Chokin 10 metres to Blossom Lady, 8 metres away, third Level Advice, then Ultrajet.
Only 10th from 30 metres to Blossom Lady in the $150,000 AG Hunter Cup a week later. It was later discovered the gelding was suffering with a virus, a high white blood cell count similar to his Kaikara Cup failure earlier in the season, indicated another bacterial infection. That plagued him through the Inter-Dominion Carnival at Harold Park the following month. Although he narrowly beat Valley Champ in his first heat and was 5th and 2nd in the other 2 heats, Chokin was clearly not at his best. Once again he had to be scratched from the Inter-Dominion Grand Final on the eve of the big race. Returning home to New Zealand for a spell, he was off the scene for 6 months, but was back winning in Auckland in October. He grabbed the headlines again the following month, but for all the wrong reasons, when he failed to finish in the $300,000 New Zealand Cup. A solid favourite, it was his first defeat in 10 Addington starts. A year earlier, Chokin was the toast of Christchurch after completing the New Zealand Cup free-for-all double. In 1994, he was gone at the winning place with a lap to go. Tony HERLIHY pulled him up at the top of the home straight as BBC raced to an impressive victory. Barry Purden was mystified by the performance and also the poor efforts of his stablemates, Christopher Vance and Montana Vance, who both finished well back in the field. Chokin, as always, quickly bounced back to top form. The Harold Park Miracle Mile was just around the corner, but Chokin had to perform in a special trial in Auckland in front of New South Wales Harness Racing President Keith Adams before being issued with an invitation to defend his Miracle Mile crown. That task accomplished, Chokin joined Village Kid and Westburn Grant as the only dual winners of Australia's premier sprint event when he won in 156.2.
Young Mr. Charles, the leader for Terry Robinson, by a length to Golden Rain at his wheel. He's got Wiona Warrior in the pocket behind the leader. Chokin has won out, one back, a length to BBC, and tailed off his master musician. Down the back, young Mr. Charles, still by 3/4 of a length, Golden Rain. He's got Wiona Warrior firmly pocketed. Chokin's on Golden Rain's back and a length to BBC. The quarter down the back in 29.6. Young Mr. Charles, the leader. Golden Rain on his outside. Wiona Warrior can't get a run. Chokin has called upon 3 wide and 2 to BBC. Coming up to the turn on the Miracle Mile. The Victorian Golden Rain drew alongside young Mr. Charles. Here's last year's winner, Chokin, joining putting in. We own a warrior behind them. It's Golden Rain going to the lead. Chokin on the outsides after him. BBC with a late run down the middle of the track. Chokin drew alongside Golden Rain. BBC zooming home, but Chokin hits the lead and he's won again. Chokin has won 2 miracle miles. Second BBC, third Golden Rain.
Then came one of his greatest wins as he overcame a 15-metre handicap to win his second $250,000 Auckland Cup in one of the greatest races seen at Alexandra Park. His 15th Group 1 victory in 18 starts at that level, Chokin ran the 2 miles in 4:2.6, a mile rate of 2:2.
Into the back straight towards the 450. The leader is Victor Supreme. 3/4 to Christopher Vance and a length back on the inside, Chokin. They're followed over on the outside, Master Musician. Right with them too is Desperate Comment. The big guns are up front. They're followed by Butler's Reward and down on the inside, Franco Whisper. Round the turn they come on the line. Red Auckland Trotting Cup of 94 and Victor Supreme. She heads for home by a length over Christopher Vance. Chokin's locked up in the trail. Here comes Master Musician out in the centre from Desperate Comment and Butler's Reward. Victor Supreme from Master Musician. Chokin getting clear late. Victor Supreme's hanging on. Chokin's coming very quickly on the outside. Chokin and Victor Supreme. Chokin beat Victor Supreme a half head. Master Musician third.
Chokin then made a hit-and-run visit back to Australia for the $200,000 Victoria Cup at Moonee Valley in early February 1995. After enjoying a perfect trail, he dropped out to finish a distant 9th behind Golden Rain. The following Monday, he went back to Auckland in the hope of being revitalised for the Inter-Dominion Carnival at Addington the following month. Twice second and once a winner in his qualifying heats, Chokin finished a gallant 4th behind Golden Rain, Victor Supreme and young Mr Charles in the $400,000 grand final, but later was promoted to 2nd when Victor Supreme and young Mr Charles were both disqualified from the placings after returning positive swabs. That was Chokin's last race. Tragically, just 2 months later, the giant gelding was dead of a stroke. Chokin had raced just 59 times for 34 wins and prize money of $1.8 million.
What made him so special in your mind?
Well, he was a natural athlete. He had good manners and he just had the will to get out there and win.